March 15, 2012. 4:30 in the morning. A man walks through the empty corridors of the Vatican. His hands tremble. Not from cold. From fear. In the pockets of his red cassock, documents that could shake the foundations of a millennial institution. His name is Carlo Maria Vigano. Cardinal. Apostolic Nuncio. One of the most powerful men in the Catholic Church. And at that moment, he had just committed what many would call treason. But what did he discover? What could transform a prince of the Church into a whistleblower? What did he see in the bowels of the Vatican that made him question everything he believed in? Over the next minutes, you will learn the true story of how unauthorized revelations forever changed a cardinal's faith. A story of power, money, conspiracies, and a desperate search for truth. This is not a work of fiction. All the facts you will hear are documented. Real. And disturbing. Carlo Maria Vigano was born in 1941, in Varese, Italy. Traditional Catholic family. 3 brothers, all priests. His destiny seemed drawn from birth. Ordained a priest in 1968, Vigano was brilliant. A born diplomat. He spoke 6 languages. In 1992, he was appointed the Vatican's permanent envoy to the United Nations. But it was in 2009 that his life would change forever. Pope Benedict XVI appointed him Secretary General of the Governorate of Vatican City. In simple terms, he would be the financial manager of the smallest nation in the world. And it was there, in the financial archives, in the contracts, in the banking records, that Vigano began to see things he shouldn't see. Overcharging in contracts. Millions diverted. Shell companies. Payments to suspicious accounts. The Vatican, Vigano discovered, was bleeding money. And not by accident. He did what any man of faith would do. He began to investigate. To document. To prepare reports. He sent everything directly to Pope Benedict XVI. He believed that truth would prevail. That the Church would purify itself. He was wrong. January 2012. Confidential documents from the Vatican begin appearing in the Italian press. Letters. Memoranda. Financial reports. The scandal became known as VatiLeaks. And among these documents were some of Vigano's reports. The world saw for the first time what was happening behind the doors of the Vatican. Systemic corruption. Power struggles. Cardinals conspiring against cardinals. The Italian press published bombastic headlines. The book His Holiness, by journalist Gianluigi Nuzzi, based on the leaked documents, became a bestseller. But something strange happened. While the Vatican hunted for those responsible for the leak, Vigano was quietly removed from his position. In June 2011, months before the scandal exploded, he was appointed Apostolic Nuncio to the United States. An apparent promotion. In practice, an exile. Vigano begged Pope Benedict XVI to remain in the Vatican. He wrote dramatic letters. He argued that his removal would reward the corrupt. His pleas were ignored. In documents that came to light years later, it became clear Vigano had become a problem. And problems, in the Vatican, are removed. The Pope's butler, Paolo Gabriele, was arrested and convicted as responsible for leaking the documents. Sentenced to 18 months in prison. But many believed he was just a scapegoat. That greater forces were at play. And then, something unprecedented happened. On February 28, 2013, Pope Benedict XVI resigned. The first pope to do so in 600 years. Officially, for health reasons. But whispers ran through the corridors of the Vatican. Whispers about pressure. About conspiracies. About secrets that could never be revealed. Washington, D.C., 2013 to 2016. Vigano served as Apostolic Nuncio to the United States. Externally, he fulfilled his diplomatic functions. But internally, something was changing. The revelations he had witnessed. The imposed silence. The sense of institutional betrayal. All of this began to transform his faith. He began to question not just the Church's financial management, but its power structure, its silences, its political alliances, and especially, how it dealt with cases of sexual abuse. In 2018, already retired, Vigano made a decision that would shock the Catholic world. He published an 11-page letter accusing Pope Francis, cardinals, and bishops of covering up cases of sexual abuse. He specifically named Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, accusing the hierarchy of knowing about his conduct for years and doing nothing. The letter was explosive. Vigano claimed he personally informed Pope Francis about McCarrick in 2013, but nothing was done. He called for the Pope's resignation. It was a declaration of war. The reaction was immediate and divided. Conservatives supported him. Progressives accused him of attempting a coup. The Vatican remained silent for days. When it finally spoke, it neither denied nor confirmed the specific accusations. It only attacked Vigano's motivation. But something had changed. McCarrick was eventually expelled from the clergy in 2019, the first time in modern history that a cardinal received such punishment. Vigano was right about him. But what about the other accusations? They remain unresolved to this day. In the following years, Vigano became radicalized. He embraced conspiracy theories about globalism, pandemic, vaccines. He became a controversial figure, loved by some, despised by others. In July 2024, he was excommunicated by the Catholic Church for schism. The cardinal who was once a prince of the Church was now outside it. But he insists, he did not abandon the faith. The institution abandoned the truth. So what really transformed Vigano's faith? It wasn't the discovery of corruption itself. Human institutions are imperfect. He knew that. What transformed him was the Church's response to the revelations. When he denounced financial corruption, he was exiled. When he denounced abuses, he was silenced. When he insisted on the truth, he was excommunicated. And this experience led him to a disturbing conclusion, that the institution he had dedicated his life to serving valued its own preservation more than the truth. Some say Vigano lost himself in paranoia and radicalism. That his most recent accusations lack solid evidence. That he became an instrument of political factions. All of this may be true. But one question remains. The unauthorized revelations he made in 2011 and 2012 about financial corruption were true. This was confirmed. The abuses by McCarrick that he denounced were real. This was also confirmed. So where is the line between whistleblower and conspirator? Between prophet and fanatic? Vigano's case forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about religious institutions. About loyalty versus truth. About when silence becomes complicity. And about the price one pays for revealing secrets that others want kept. Today, at 83 years old, Vigano lives isolated. He continues publishing letters, making denunciations. Most are ignored. He has become a footnote in Vatican history. A man who saw too much, spoke too much, and paid the price. But his unauthorized revelations left their mark. They forced financial reforms in the Vatican. They contributed to McCarrick's downfall. They showed that even millennial institutions are not above scrutiny. And perhaps, just perhaps, they reminded us that faith should not be blind. That questioning is not betrayal. And that truth, however inconvenient it may be, always deserves to be heard. March 15, 2012. A cardinal walks through the corridors of the Vatican with documents in his pockets. He doesn't know it yet, but that moment will change his life forever. It will transform his faith. And it will take him from Prince of the Church to exile. This was the story of Carlo Maria Vigano. Of unauthorized revelations. And of the secret that transformed everything. Truth, once revealed, never returns to darkness. It only waits. Patient. Until we are ready to see it.